Okay, good evening everyone. Hope you're all okay. Welcome to session 10 of the RIAK Discovery series. I hope everyone's okay. So just a quick shout out, quick FYI right from the start. We are going to be turning erg mode off in this session after the warm-up. So you will need either the remote or your RGT device close to hand so you can turn erg mode off. To do that, don't do this now, but just when prompted, what you'll need to do is go to the sensors menu in RGT. In the top right hand corner is an erg tab, and I'm just going to prompt you to turn that off when the time comes. I'll explain why as well shortly. And also you might need, probably just your phone. Everyone's got a calculator on their phone these days, don't they? Or a calculator if you're particularly old school, because we will be working to an exhaustion protocol. But here we go. Just a few seconds and off we go. Okay, so the course we're riding in this session is the Champs-Élysées. We've got a sprint session, so I thought the Champs-Élysées was quite apt. Obviously it doesn't look a tremendous amount, I like it. Looks more Belgian than French, I would have said. But yeah, that's where we are on the session. So for anybody that is new to these sessions, my name is Rich. I'm the founder and head coach of RIAK Fitness. So I generally run pretty much all our live sessions. We're ostensibly a triathlon and cycling coaching outfit. You'll see above me all the various services that we do, and you'll also see some adverts for our partners. And just remember guys, any discount codes etc you see in the adverts above, if you can't kind of catch them as they go by on the session, you can always see them on our RIAK online page on our website, okay, along with all our training resources, which I will actually be talking a little bit about tonight because we're going to be using one of them. So yeah, quick reminder, we are going to be turning erg mode off after the warm-up. If you're just joining us and you're not familiar with how to do that, you go to the sensors menu in RGT. You don't need to do that now. After the warm-up, erg tab, top right hand corner, jab that off. And what will happen is if you're using a smart trainer, the trainer will start to simulate the course, and we've got a pretty pan flat course and in this session, so you shouldn't have any issues with gearing. So yeah, what are we on to in this session? Well, we titled it Neuro Sprints. Basically what we're talking about there is working on what's called your neuromuscular power, and that is basically max effort. So those guys that came to our Monday session, we were talking about rider profiling, and there, if you went to that session, we're talking about that 5-second and 20-second power, those key powers, those personal bests. That's what we're looking to try and hit in this session. For anyone that didn't come to the Monday session or is watching this session subsequently, all our Monday sessions are available on the website and on our social media channels for a limited period, but you can rent them off our website. And that Monday session, that rider profiling session, is definitely worth a watch. A lot of kind of key fundamental information there about how to isolate and work on your strengths and weaknesses. So have a look at that one. Right then, so this session, what we got? Well, we got the normal kind of 10-minute warm-up. Sorry, just 2 seconds, guys. Just fiddling with some tech. Yeah, okay, cool. Normal kind of warm-up, building every 2 minutes by about 6 to 10 watts. We then got numerous fast pedaling efforts. Okay, these to really kind of rev your fast twitch muscle fibers up. So they're 20 seconds long, and they're sort of around 115% of FTP. So it's 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, and you're just basically trying to get your legs going as quickly as possible and just revving yourself up for when we hit those sprints. Then got a little cruise period at about 65% of FTP, and then we get into those sprints. Okay, so the first block you got 5 times 30-second sprints at, well, actually the target, to be honest, ignore it, it's arbitrary. We don't really care, because what we want, guys, is for you just to go as hard as you can for 30 seconds. All right, we're looking to bank some new peak powers. So try and get a personal best over 5 seconds and 20 seconds. So you got plenty of recovery in between. They're only 30 seconds long. You've got 3 minutes of recovery between them. Then we've got a lovely cruising block of 7 minutes before we get into the final block. And then we're going to some 20-second efforts. So 10 sprints in all, lots of recovery in between. This session isn't really about, you know, seeing how many you can do. It's not about smashing you to pieces. It's about quality over quantity. Okay, and that's why we're going to be using what's called an exhaustion protocol. Okay, so I'll just run through that now and do a little reminder before we get to the first sprint. But basically, guys, an exhaustion protocol, you use it to make sure that your sprints or any kind of interval is high quality. Okay, so I'm just going to switch over to show you a chart now, which I'll show you again later. Okay, let's check. Sound's still working. Everybody can see it. So this chart is available on our website on the RIAK online page. If you go about 2/3 of the way down the page, there's our kind of online resources. There's tons of free resources there, guys. Okay, there's know-how videos, training articles. We've got fitness calculators, jargon busters, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so have a look there. In the training article section is this chart. It's the exhaustion protocol, and this protocol is taken from a really good book called Training and Racing with a Power Meter. Not the sexiest title, but it's a really useful book for anybody trying to kind of learn the ins and outs of bike training. So what you'll see there, though, towards the bottom, is where it says interval length 30 seconds, average drop off in power 12 to 15%. Basically what we're saying there is after the third interval, so that fourth and fifth interval of each block, if your average power drops by 12 to 15%, call it a day. Okay, and to be honest, we'll pretty much implement that from the start. If your power is dropping by more than 15% between intervals, then you know they're not quality intervals. All right, we want you to be able to reproduce a relatively similar level of power each time. Okay, so that's the 30 seconds intervals, and then we'll apply the same protocol to the 20-second intervals. Guys, do not worry if this is a little bit over your head at the moment. You came here just to do a hard session, but what I'm trying to do is just over time is just introduce you to some smarter training principles that you can use in your own training. It's absolutely fine if you just want to thrash yourself in this session, see how many you can do, but if you really want to take your training to the next level, introducing things like exhaustion protocols is just going to improve your consistency. It's just going to improve your ability to string sessions together, and ultimately it's consistency, which means you get better over time. Okay, so just relax for now. Where have we gotten to? Coming up to penultimate step in the warm-up, I think. And then we've got those fast pedaling efforts. So just remember, they're quite short and sharp. 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. And I think there's 5 of them. Okay, just all about getting your legs going. So keep the fluids coming on board for now. Don't need to mess around with anything. No need for erg mode or exhaustion protocols just yet. I'll be telling you to turn erg mode off once we get through those fast pedaling efforts. For now, just chill out, spin up your legs, fluids on board, just chill out, generally chill out, max and relax. Oh wait, we're not allowed Will Smith references anymore, are we? Whoops. If anyone didn't get that, shame on you, okay? For 2 reasons. the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference, and then this flipping rubbish that's going on social media and news I just do not care about, but it's funny to make light of. Anyway, moving on. So, just under a minute before we crack on. Okay, so let's just start to get focused. As I said, guys, this session is all about quality, not quantity. It's going to be tough, it's going to be challenging. Any kind of sprint session is. All right, but sometimes when you do sets like this, your body immediately tells you, not today, and that's fine. Okay, just do your best, adhere to the exhaustion protocol, and everything will be fine. Okay, so let's get ready for those fast pedaling efforts then. 10 seconds till we crack on. Remember, there's some juice behind these as well, 115% of FTP, looking for a cadence upwards of 100 RPM. Here we go. Go on then. Let's rev it up then. Get those legs going. Over 100 RPM. Okay, so your legs should be turning around like Roadrunner, not like a caveman. Weird analogy, but let's go with it. Last few seconds. Good, okay, and relax. Just 20 seconds off. So just easy pedaling. So remember, guys, we want to really get those legs turning over quickly for these fast pedaling efforts. Okay, they're all about waking up your fast twitch muscle fibers. Here we go, round 2. Off we pop then, let's go. Let's go, guys, get them going. Get those leggies going. Last few seconds. Yeah, relax. Well done. Right, round 3. Coming your way quickly. Let's get ready. Here we go. That's it, guys. That's it, guys. Rev it up. Over 100 RPM. Probably close to 110, 120 RPM, really. So, on RGT at the moment, the course, I think I'm on that section where they go under the underpass and then come out the other side. That's the only kind of lip that I can think of on that Champs-Élysées course that they do in the Tour de France. So if anyone's not aware, the Champs-Élysées route that we're doing is the circuit they use on the final day of the Tour de France every year. Usually ends in a sprint. Okay, let's go, guys. Spinning up those legs. These fast pedaling efforts come thick and fast, but then you've got a lovely cruise period afterwards. Okay, well done. So just a couple more to go. Right, and everyone, just try and relax a little bit. Make sure that leg speed's nice and high. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's get it going. Just remember, this is all about just sort of getting the body ready. You're going to have time to recover, so don't worry if you're getting a bit of a blow on. That's absolutely fine. It's meant to be like that. But then got a cruising period to settle before we hit that first 30-second sprint. Okay, good, 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 good. Let's go, let's go. Spin it up, let's go. Last few seconds. Okay, and relax, well done. Well done, guys. Okay, well done. Just a few seconds, then we're going to go up to about 65% of FTP. So we go up to sort of zone 2 area. So just coming back to the objectives of the session, guys. So why are we doing this? Well, it's really important for everybody, really, that you do some level of kind of high-powered, short-duration work. Okay. Now, obviously, the amount you do depends on your objectives. We talked in Monday's session about rider profiling. The idea behind that is basically working out what type of athlete you are, where your strengths and weaknesses lie, and how that all sits relative to your objectives and your goals, the events that you're wanting to do. Okay? Every athlete, doesn't matter what you're doing, long course, triathlon, Ironman athletes, etc. Sportive riders, doesn't matter what you're doing. You want to do a certain amount of this work. Okay, not necessarily a really focused session like this. For those guys that are sort of just pure endurance junkies, you'd sprinkle it in sessions. You wouldn't necessarily do a pure anaerobic set. You might do every now and then, but maybe not all the time, regularly like a crit racer or an e-racer would. Okay, but what we're doing in a session like this, and what we're doing as part of this whole discovery series really, is just figuring out kind of where your strengths and weaknesses lie. That's kind of the whole point behind the discovery series, working out how good you are at stuff. Because otherwise, it's hard to tell really. You just go from session to session and, it doesn't really become that clear. Whereas with this discovery series, our goal is to kind of put you through different ordeals that you have to deal with and see how you come through. It's not necessarily predicted that you find every session easy or you find every session comfortable or even just challenging. Some of the sessions are going to be brutal. Some of the sessions you'll breeze through. Okay? It's all just about assessing yourself and then being able to make decisions about your training as a result. So guys, let's start to get focused then. So now is the time to turn that erg mode off. So why are we turning off? Because otherwise it's going to limit your power production. And I promise you, doing this session with erg mode on will one, be extremely boring, but also be horrible. Because basically you're limiting your power, so you either spin out, and then if you kind of get a bit fatigued and drop below the power target, you'll be just pumping it away like this, and that's not what we want. Okay, so erg mode off. Okay, no arguments. So if you're not sure how to do that, guys, if you're new to these sorts of sessions, go to the sensors menu in RGT. Top right hand corner, there's an erg tab. You just want to turn that off, and then basically your trainer, if you've got a smart trainer or a smart bike, will start to simulate the course topography. Okay, pretty much pan flat course. You can also turn down the trainer difficulty if you want to, and that will make sure that the course is pan flat. Up to you, doesn't really matter. Just get erg mode off. Let's quickly share that chart with you again. So remember what we're up to. With these 30-second sprints, we want to stay within 15% of our previous effort. Okay? So what that means, guys, is you're going to have to keep an eye on your average power for each interval. Okay? It only flashes up at the bottom of the RGT screen. Okay? You just get a quick average power. You just take a quick mental note of that. And each time, you need that to be within 15% of the previous effort. Don't worry if this is a bit complicated. Sometimes it does take a few sessions like this to get used to using an exhaustion protocol, but just give it a go. If you can't deal with it, it's not an end of the world. Just go for it and just do some sprints, but just give it a go, guys. All right. Yeah. We'll just keep it simple for this session. So ideally, it'd be after the third effort you start using the exhaustion protocol, but just keep it nice and simple for this session. Just do it within 15% of your previous effort. Okay, does that make sense? So let's get ready to go, guys. Awesome. So we'll start off by making sure that we take note of the average power for this first sprint. So let's get ready. Rev it up, guys. Come on. Let's give it hell. Ready? Here we go then. Come on. First sprint, let's go. Come on, guys. Push, 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 push. That's it, excellent. Some awesome numbers on the leaderboard. Keep going, halfway. Push, 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 push. Last few seconds all the way to the end. All the way. Okay, remember, quick snapshot. What's your power at the bottom? What's your power say? Average power. Take a quick note. Okay? You see, it only flashes up for a second. But otherwise, now just chill. Okay, now we've got some maths to do. Or use your calculator. Just times that average power by 0.85. And that'll give you your target to stay above. Okay, and then for the rest of these 30-second intervals, that's your target. Okay, so stay within 15% of that average power. As I say, normally we do it after the third effort, but I just want to keep it simple and get you guys used to using a exhaustion protocol. Okay, so that's it. Stay within 15% of that first effort. All right, guys. Remember, that chart is on our website in the online training resources section in the training articles area. Okay, so that's round 1 done. So we've got 4 more 30-second efforts to get through before we've got a lovely little cruisy section. So let's just focus on what we've got ahead of us. Take each interval as it comes. Don't think too far ahead. Okay. Just chilled out. So, as you can probably tell, we're not only looking for some personal bests, but we're also looking to see how well we are at repeating the efforts. Otherwise, we just do 1, maybe 2 efforts. It's not our primary focus though. Our primary focus is just getting some big numbers, which is round 2. Round 2's objective, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Everything you got. Come on. Drive it, drive it, drive it. Go, 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 go. Ah, sorry guys. Sold you a dummy there. This is what happens when I turn off my glasses. I've basically got several different screens up, none of which I can see that well, which is not ideal. Just testing your weight, guys. Sorry about that. Right then. Yeah, 25 seconds till we go. We should get Sylvan on the payroll, I think. He's always there to make sure that I clear up my cock-ups. Okay, 10 seconds in. Now's the time to get ready to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Come on, guys. That's it. Push, 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 push. Halfway. Come on, guys. You can do this. You can do this. All the way to the end. Push all the way. And relax. Well done. Well done, guys. Okay. So hopefully you remember to check out your average power. You only get a snapshot, so you have to be really Johnny on the spot. But remember, we're trying to stay within 15% of that first effort or that second effort if you've got the energy to work out 15% of your average power for that second effort. Always trying to stay within 15% of the previous effort, okay? Just to keep it simple, just so I don't confuse anyone. Within 15% of the previous effort. That's your goal. All right. So that's 2 down. We've got 3 to go. Just breathe. Try not to drink too much between efforts. Just little sips if you can, guys. A little bit like a boxer. Otherwise, yeah, when you go into a sprint, basically all the blood gets pushed into your muscles and your digestive system will become hypoxic, which means it's starved of oxygen basically and inefficient. So you've got water sloshing around. It's not ideal. So just little sips, guys. I think in fat boxers, you might be right in saying that they don't even tend to swallow the water, just swill it around their mouths, basically to keep their mouth from drying out. I think that's right anyway. Or they rarely swallow the water. Anyway, you're probably not really interested in that. So nice and relax. When you're in the recovery intervals, guys, try to keep the legs turning over. Obviously you need to recover and just sort of piece yourself back together. Once you've done that, try to bring your leg speed back up to where it should be. Don't worry too much about the power targets on the recovery or in the sprints, to be honest. It's totally arbitrary. Ideally you'll be doing much higher than the target. Got to set something. Okay. So just spinning up your legs between intervals. Try not to get suckered into having too low of a cadence. Spinning up is going to help you recover. So round 3 is fast approaching. Remember, trying to stay within that 15% threshold, within that 15% margin each time. Okay. Not long to go till we go back at it. Yeah, ready, guys? Last 2 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Here we go. Come on. Go, guys. Go, go, go. Push. Okay, kick again. 15 seconds to go. Come on. Lift it. Last 10. All the way to the end. Don't give up. Don't give up. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, guys. Well done. Really well done, guys. Excellent. Absolutely love seeing guys race fast on RGT. It's fantastic. Some really big numbers there. Excellent stuff. Just relax. Remember, each interval, snapshot of your average power, keeping it within the target range, within 15% of the previous effort. Well done, guys. So just 2 more to go. So we are using, if you remember from our previous sessions, we're using what's called your phosphocreatine system. Okay, it's basically like a little fuel tank. It needs time to top back up. Creatine is a naturally occurring kind of assister to energy production. Okay, and it's what kind of power lifters and sprinters on the track use, etc. A lot. They have very well developed phosphocreatine systems. And it also depends on kind of what your muscle fiber blend is as well, as to how naturally good you are at this stuff. So your fast twitching muscle fibers, if you've got a good natural blend of those, you'll be inherently disposed to this type of work. Also, it tends to be people that play team sports when they're growing up tend to be good at this sort of stuff. When you play team sports, you tend to do just sort of lots and lots of short sprints. Okay, so often find guys that played things like football and rugby, hockey, etc. when they were growing up, they tend to be quite good at this stuff. They go, recover quickly and go again. So not too long now until the penultimate 30-second sprint. Within 15% of that previous one, remember. Don't think about it too much. Just give it all guns. Just relaxing, guys. Make sure you bring your leg speed back above 80 RPM, just so that you're not trawling along the bottom of your cadence. So back above 80 RPM, just spinning in between efforts, but starting to build it now as we get towards 10 seconds to go. So picking up the leg speed, getting ready to drop the hammer, getting ready to drop into a big gear. Ready? 2, 1. Here we go then. Come on. Come on, guys. Push, 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 push. Last 15 seconds, coming halfway, push it all the way to the end. Last few seconds. Come on, you need that, you need that. And relax, well done. Okay. Just one more to go. So just a reminder, guys, you can always ask any questions or make any comments various ways. There's the Zoom chat, or you can unmute yourself in Zoom and ask away, or we are keeping a track of all of our social media channels. And yeah, so I think pronounced it Savaris. You're absolutely right. This, well, from my perspective at least, it's a fun workout. I do workouts like this fairly regularly. I really enjoy them, especially if you're using the exhaustion protocol, because you basically stop when it gets rubbish. So yeah, a little bit sadistic maybe, I don't know. How are you getting on, guys? Is everyone okay? Yeah, good, nice one. No doubt there's just a lot of swearing at muted microphones. You did a great job, guys. Just got one last 30-second sprint, and then we're going into a nice cruisy phase. Still keeping erg mode off for the whole of the rest of the session. Don't need to faff around with that anymore, okay? As I say, in the recovery intervals, don't stress too much about hitting the power targets. It's more just about making sure you're doing something, keeping your legs turning over, because you do not want to try and set up a sprint from a standing start. Well, you can, but it's not enjoyable, and increased risk that you'll topple over as well, which I have seen, and it is embarrassing for them. Okay, so let's get ready to go then. Just over a minute. Spinning up the legs, getting that cadence back above 80 RPM. So we're pedaling efficiently. That is going to help us clear out some of the lactate before we go for the final time over this duration. Just 30 seconds. Okay, last round for the 30 seconders. Let's get ready for it, okay? Building up the leg speed. Let's really go for it. Let's go big on this one, okay? Let's get ready. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go then. Come on. Push guys, coming up to halfway. Come on, surge again. Every last ounce of effort, last 10 seconds. Two, 1, and relax, well done. Chill, well done, guys. Now, once you kind of got your breath back and you're feeling good again, now you can start to take your fluids on board properly again and just relax. Well done, everyone. Really good stuff. So that's the 30-second efforts done. So I'm just going to give you a minute or two just to kind of piece yourself back together. And then I'm just going to talk to you about what you're going to want to do after the session in terms of kind of analysis. Whenever we talk about analysis, guys, we're talking a couple of minutes at best. We're not looking to turn you all into cycling geeks. Although, arguably, if you're doing this, you are a cycling geek. And you should embrace it. Best sport in the world. Maybe not from a governance perspective, but I'll leave that one alone for another time. Still a long way to go there. But in terms of the pure actual sport, great. I always like to make sort of like just little pathetic pointed comments and never follow it up. You'll notice that about me. Okay, so just chilling out, guys, just relaxing. We've got the rest of this recovery interval, and then all we're going to do is just pick it up a little bit. Okay, back up to around 65% of FTP. Now, the reason we're doing that, I think 7 minutes, I believe, we're there for. Yeah, so we're going back up to zone 2 for 7 minutes. The reason we're doing that and not just cruising at the same level as we are now is because basically, guys, we want to give you a nice big break, nice big block of recovery, but we don't want you getting cafe legs. We don't want you recovering too much so that you basically shift into kind of post-session recovery. We want to keep your heart rate up a little bit, keep your legs turning over, and helping to flush out some of the waste products that are building up in your muscles. So that's why we're lifting it a little bit, and not just staying at where we are now, which is about 40% of FTP. Okay? We're not just unusually cruel. Trust me on this one. Okay, so how long we got? It's about 20 odd seconds before we lift it again, just up to zone 2, and I'll tell you what you might want to do after the session in terms of post-workout analysis. But let's just get you going. Still out of erg mode, guys. No need to faff around. Don't worry about nailing the power targets. Let's just lift it back up to around 65% of FTP, keeping that leg speed nice and high. So upwards of about 85 RPM. Just spinning over the next 7 minutes. So as I say, these sessions are relatively involved. We do encourage you to look at your data afterwards. Now, as we discussed on a few occasions, there's various methods, various platforms, various bits of software you can use. We use Training Peaks and kind of an offshoot of Training Peaks, standalone piece of software called WKO5. You can use another one that's free that we always talk about, Golden Cheetah. Strava has kind of limited data analysis functions, or there are various other kind of pieces of software out there. So, as I say, when we're talking about post-session analysis, you know, you're not a coach. Oh, I don't think any of you are, anyway, unless you're scouting out kind of what we're doing to try and steal stuff. I don't know, but that's unlikely that you're a coach. So we don't expect anybody to kind of delve into their data in the same way a coach might. But you do just want to have a look at it. You do want to look patterns for improvements, or in this case, for personal bests. So as I say, we're working at your 30 seconds and then 20 seconds. So you want to have a look at the session. You know, how good was your best 5 second, your best 20 second, and your best 30 second power from this session, and then how does that stack up with previous sessions? You know, is there a positive trajectory there? And yeah, you just keep track of this stuff over time. Obviously, it's much easier to do that with using a training platform that will specifically track those metrics. But you can use spreadsheets. There's no reason why not. It's a bit more manual, that's all. So yeah, I encourage you to have a look after the session, have a look at the intervals, have a look at kind of how consistent your power was. You know, with each interval, were you hitting the same level? Were you still within that 15% margin? Or was it, you know, bang and bust? You know, And it doesn't matter either way, it's going to tell you something. And that's what this series is all about. If you do experience a bit of a bang and bust, it tells you, maybe that bang was big. Maybe you've got like 1, 2 huge efforts in you, but then after that, kind of it's lights out. And if you race, that's really important information. Okay, that tells you, you can't go super anaerobic, you can't go to neuromuscular power more than a couple of times. So you can only chase so many wheels, you can only do kind of so many sort of semi-sprints before the final. Okay, or maybe you just know that you cannot go anywhere near that and you just save it all for one big push. We've got we look after a few cyclists, predominantly triathletes, but we've got a few cyclists. We've got guys who can just attack day and all day long, but then we've got guys who have to save it, and they have to hide in the wheels because they've got huge numbers, but they can't reproduce it multiple times. It's all about finding stuff out about yourself. It's not necessarily going to be discovered immediately, but over time, repeating sessions like this and just looking to track kind of your personal bests over 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, hopefully some of that makes sense, particularly if you've watched that rider profiling session. Hopefully should make some sense. Yeah, just have a little gander. Might not make any sense to you immediately, but over time, looking at your data will start to make sense, I promise you. I remember when I first got into coaching, I was doing it alongside, I was a lawyer at the time. This might shock you, but I'm better with words than numbers. You might think I'm crap at both, but proportionally better with words. And so looking at charts and stuff was never comfortable for me, particularly. I'm alright with a bar chart, but not so much anything with lines on it. I mean, I don't even know the name for them, so there you go. But anyway, the point is that over time, I've learned to get comfortable with that stuff, and I've learned to be able to spot patterns and identify the key information. And that's all you can do, really, I think. And that's all that you can expect of yourself. Just keep having a look at it, do a little bit of reading, talk to people like myself, and eventually you'll be able to pull out the key information very quickly. So let's just see it as the start of a process. Okay, back to more important patterns though. We've got the start of our next block, not too far away. So remember, erg mode off. If you were sneaky and put it back on to help you through the cruising period, let's get it back off. These efforts are 20 seconds. Okay, so there's even less pacing. It's just pure aggression, pure battle, pure fight. Okay, there's 5 of them. Let me just check the recovery interval again. 3 minutes of recovery. So you've got pretty much the same amount of recovery as for the other ones, but shorter sprints. So let's get ourselves revved up, all right? Let's get the adrenaline going. Let's get ready to fight. So start imagining it. Imagining what you're going to do when that number that timer drops to 0 and it's go time. Imagine what you're going to do. Stomp on those pedals. Just get yourself going. Whatever you need to say to yourself, let's get ready to do some serious battling. Okay, just under 20 seconds. Rev the legs back up. Get that cadence nice and high. Get ready to drop in that big gear. 10 seconds. Come on, guys, you can do this. Let's see that leaderboard go all red. 3, 2, 1. Here we go then, come on. Come on, guys. You can do this. That's it, it's starting to light up. Halfway, 10 seconds. Yes, go, 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 go. Last couple of seconds all the way to the end. Yes. Excellent stuff. Really well done. Well done. Okay, deep breaths, relax. Once you kind of gathered yourself, bring the legs back online, start to spin up. Guys, if you've fallen behind, by the way, do not worry. I know when you're doing lots of sprints, sometimes the workout will pause as the turbo trainer spins down. Don't worry about it. You don't necessarily, I don't expect you to bap around, skipping forwards or etc. Hopefully, kind of me calling the intervals isn't too annoying. But if you're all synced up, then hopefully still not annoying. So just chilling out. Little sips of water again, remember. Let's see. And remember that kind of exhaustion protocol. Okay, so trying to stay within 15% of that first effort. Don't worry if you've got to do it that first time. Just make sure you take note of your average power on the second one, okay? Now just spinning up the legs, relaxing and recovering. So just a little over a minute. So we're getting to round 2. Just relax. Remember to bring that leg speed back up above 80 RPM, particularly when we're into the final minute for the next sprint. Don't look anywhere beyond this next effort. Seconds. So start to bring the leg speed back up. Well above 80 RPM now. Come on. Let's get ourselves going. $15 seconds. Okay, let's rev it up now. Come on, 10 seconds. Let's get ready to go. Oh, you can do this, guys. Big second effort. Remember to glance at your average power at the end of the interval. Here we go. Come on. Go, 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 go. Keep again. 10 seconds. Come on. Last 5 seconds. Sprinting all the way to the line. Last few. Yeah. Keep going if you've still got bit of time left. Keep going. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. Okay, and relax. That's round 2 done. Hopefully you call your average power again. Well done, guys. So just FYI, guys, for those guys on Zoom, it is really super helpful. If you don't need to do this now, just for like future reference. It's super helpful if you guys do turn your cameras on, because then it shows me if people are significantly behind or not. But like I say, don't need to do this now, just for future reference. It does help me kind of make sure that I kind of keep the enthusiasm going whilst people are still working, maybe. You know, there's nothing worse than when you're in the middle of the sprint and you've got someone in your ear going, and relax. You're trying to do the exact opposite. Yeah, nice one, guys. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not, like I said, I know you're in the midst of a session now, so you don't need to do it now. It's just for future reference. I know not everyone's super comfortable unmuting themselves, and that's fair. Like I say, it just does help a little bit. Let's face it, we're all sweaty wrecks now. There's no hiding that one. Well, we should be, at least, if we're working hard now. So well done, guys. Right, God, you're so close to the end of the session now. Just 3 sprints left. I know your legs are probably screaming at you, but hopefully you got something to finish this off. Okay, big final few efforts. Let's just think about this next one coming up. Staying within 15% of that previous effort. Ideally, we'd have kind of all our splits accessible, but it's not yet a feature that's available. Hopefully in the future. But I do think it's actually helpful to a certain extent that they're not, because when you're having to grab, capture the average power in your mind, it helps actually, because it helps you remember this stuff. Otherwise, you see a number, it's out the other way. Okay, we want you to try and kind of remember this stuff. Oh, in that session I managed to hit 800, 900 watts over 20 seconds. That stuff suddenly starts sticking in your mind, and then so when you come to do a similar session, you're like, right, you don't even need to look at training software or whatever. You're like, right, 800 watts, I'm going to smash that. So let's do this on round 3. Here we go. Come on, drop the hammer. Hyperdrive engaged, let's go. That's it, guys, that's it, good. Last 2 seconds, all the way to the finish. Come on. Go, 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 go. Keep going if you're still sprinting. Keep pushing it. Well done, guys. Okay. Oh, just 2 more. You're so close now. Just 2 more efforts and then you are done. Excellent work, guys. Okay, guys, just relax. Got another couple of minutes. Then we're into that penultimate effort. So I always find that when you kind of get within sight of the finishing line, it just kind of gives you a second wind. So hopefully that's the case for you guys. Just try and pick yourselves up now, okay? So let's try and hit that power that you managed to produce in the first 20-second effort, okay? Let's try and get back there. You hear me say this a number of times, and I do my best not to come up with catchphrases, because there's a particular coach that I know of who uses catchphrases a lot. It drives me up the wall, but one of the ones I do use, so I think it summarizes things nicely, is when you're doing these sorts of efforts and you get towards the end of the block of intervals, it becomes a nasty power. It becomes like just a pure hatred of the world sort of power. It's that kind of real dig deep, like a vitriol bubbling up. That's what we want to tap into for these final 2 efforts, okay? It will be there. You just got to call upon it, guys, okay? So, just about 40 seconds. Let's see if we can get it engaged in this penultimate effort. Definitely want it for that final one. You always got to go big on the final effort. So, leg speed, get it back up above 80. Let's not start from scratch. Let's pick it up. Get those legs turning over. And let's just get ready to drop that big gear in. Just a few seconds. Starting to winding it up. 10 to go. Ready, guys? Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Come on, guys. Go on. Over halfway. Come on. Last push. Keep it going all the way to the end. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Awesome. Keep going. If you've still got time on the clock, keep pushing. Keep pushing if you're there. Well done, everyone. Really well done. Okay, so we'll come down to this last effort then. Really well done. So remember, we are using this exhaustion protocol. So we're just kind of introducing you to it really. Ideally in a session like this, you'll be keeping track of your intervals, making sure you're within 15%, etc, etc. And if you're not, it'll be time to call it a day. We're just introducing it, so it doesn't matter kind of what you've done really, as long as you've worked extremely hard, really gone for it for each interval, then you would have had a good session. Okay, just remember what I said about looking at your numbers afterwards. What was your best 30-second effort? What was your best 20-second effort? Start taking and keeping track of that stuff. It matters. So it's just come down to this final one. Time for that nasty power. And it's funny, you'll find there's an extra few watts in there for this last effort. It always is, like, with the best intentions. I think this is another reason for employing an exhaustion protocol, because each one is like your whole world, and it's all about staying above that kind of drop off. But what you'll probably find is that you will subconsciously have kind of paced yourself a little bit, and there'll be some extra juice in the tank for this final one. Our job now is trying to get at that. You know, it's like, you know, having that sprint at the end of a marathon or what have you. Obviously it's a little bit more to it than that. You're shifting into a different energy system which you haven't utilized, etc. I won't go into that, but it's a similar sort of thing, at least psychologically. You can see the finish line, so why not give it everything? That's the scenario we're in right now, guys. Okay then, so just in 25 seconds, let's start to rev the legs. Get them back up above 80 RPM. Don't worry too much about your power at the moment. It's the power in this final effort that matters. So let's get ready, 10 seconds, rev it up. Ready guys, get ready. Final effort, throw the kitchen sink at it. Come on guys, here we go. That's it, go guys, go, 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 go. Push all the way to the end, last few seconds, come on guys. Let's go. That's it, if you've still got some time on the clock, keep pushing all the way to the end guys. Come on, last effort. Come on, keep going. Yes, well done everyone. Well done. There you go. So those guys are what we call neuromuscular sprints, or neuromuscular power sprints, or just sprints. Okay. So a few kind of key things we've worked on there. Tonight was predominantly about kind of getting some personal bests over that 30-second effort, 20-second effort, and then within those, that 5-second power. So your 5-second power, guys, is basically the max possible effort that you can put out. Okay, you know, ideally you do it for one pedal stroke, but not really measurable in a practical sense. So that 5-second power is about as best as we can get to your max possible power. Okay, and so have a look at your numbers afterwards. Not necessarily going to tell you anything on its own, but just start to track those key powers. Sorry. So for those that went to our rider profiling session, you know, those key powers, there's 6 of them. Okay, 5-second power, 20-second power, 1 minute, 5 minute, 20 minute, and 60 minute. Okay, each of those personal bests, each of those average powers, the best possible average power over each of those key durations is going to tell you something about yourself as a rider. And ultimately, we're doing all of that, guys, with this discovery series. We're testing all of this. That's what we're doing with these sessions. So what we're hoping to do after the final session is you will have if you've done all 12 sessions, or the majority of them, you'll have an absolutely fantastic set of data to look at. And it'll just be about bringing it all together, going through each session and having a look at it. And we'll talk you through how to do that. Okay. But really well done, guys. I imagine you guys just want to get off the bike. But if anyone's got any questions, I'll stick around. But have a nice little cool down. Take some extra time if you feel like you need it. Your legs are buzzing. That's always a sign that you need a bit extra time. But really well done, everyone. I hope you kind of enjoyed that. I think it's always good to do some sprints, isn't it? A bit different. So last few seconds on the workout. But as I say, I'll stick around if anyone's got any questions. But otherwise, guys, that is your set. Really well done. Thanks, guys. Really well done, everyone. If you've got any questions after the fact, feel free to drop us an email or drop us a DM on social media. But otherwise, I think, guys, you just want to piece yourself back together, right? Well done, everyone. Well done, Mike. Yeah, of course, Agna. Sure. Cheers, Sylvan. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just talk through the exhaustion protocol again. So I did confuse matters there, but basically, just to try and simplify the session, because I kind of got the impression from people that they weren't necessarily following or that bothered about following necessarily. But basically, in an ideal situation, when you've got multiple efforts like that, what you would do is you start to introduce that exhaustion protocol after the third interval. Okay, so the reason for that is the first two you're nice and fresh, and they're usually not that illustrative of the type of power that you can repeat. So normally after the third interval, you then try to stay within 15% of that third interval power. Okay, in this session, basically what we did was we just kept it very simple and just said 15% of each one of the one before, and just keep it rolling. But yeah, normally you have a calculator, work it out after the third one, and then you'd have like a drop off that you're not allowed to go below. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Yeah, and you can apply that to hill reps and all kinds of intervals really, but just to make sure they're nice and high quality. Okay. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, yeah, of course. Go on, mate. No, so what that will be is, so the question was about dropping behind the session in the workout. So what that is when you do a really hard sprint like that, what will happen is your trainer will start to spin down and it will stop registering power effectively. So yeah, it happens. It's not a big deal. It will pretty much happen in every session to a certain extent, but when you're doing a sprint set, it's magnified because obviously you're going super hard, and then the trainer's got to spin right down to about 40% of your FTP. So there's like a few, hundreds of watts that it's got to drop off, and so it just kind of cuts out whilst it's doing that. But it's pretty normal. Yeah. Nah, it's just kind of inherent. So basically, yeah, every turbo will do it. It doesn't really make much difference because it's just got because when you got power targets like that, it will basically kind of the workout, the RGT, and it's the same on other platforms as well. They'll just kind of cut out, and it's one of the kind of downsides to trying to have everything in sync like this. Yeah, so what you can do if you're really bothered about it is obviously my RGT screen is shared, and you can always skip forwards again. But personally, I wouldn't bother messing around with that, as long as it's not too annoying me kind of calling the intervals out of sync. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no worries, man. Yeah, it happens. There's not a tremendous amount you can do about it other than skipping forwards and things. But I wouldn't faff around with it. As long as you're kind of learning a little bit at the same time as hopefully being motivated, then that's all that really matters. No, 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 no worries, Mike. Great to see you, mate. All right, take care. Cool, guys. Right, well, there we go. I'm going to stop the stream now, but hope you guys all have a lovely evening, and we'll hopefully see you next week. So take care.